I would have loved if they went on a whole guild trip. I wonder who's to blame for that. Oh, if only we know who fought this. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, this is Lessons, and we are back with another episode of Gundam Wing. We come back with notes, we come back with a board, we even come back with a comment. But first off, it's been a while since we watched anything extra related to Gundam Wing, and I recently stumbled across something that is essentially the last thing that we recorded that was extra for Gundam Wing. You remember what it was?
Yes, about the new comic book or new manga.
Sorry.
That's coming out.
The next to last thing. Forgot about that.
Well, we did the DVD covers and we did all
After that, though.
Did we do something?
Yeah. It was the last thing that we recorded in a reaction video to Gundam Wing. You remember the Gundam Wing that thing that you said that we did last? We actually did in a Gundam Wing 30th anniversary individual recording.
Yeah.
The last thing that I'm talking about the last thing we did in one of these videos.
The Italian music video thing?
Yeah, that would have.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Well, I have come across. Remember? Well, shit. I'm just gonna have to guess on this one because I thought it said here, and maybe I'm just saying it off the top of my head. An Arabic opening for Gundam Wing. So I say, let's go ahead and take a look at that and see how that goes. Was I even close? You recognize the language on screen?
Let me see. No.
I think I was completely wrong.
I think this is Arabic, yeah.
No, wait, no, yeah, sorry. Before that last line showed up, I was like, oh, wait, no, I do recognize those characters. Oh, it's also the opening and ending. I didn't realize that. I thought it was just the opening. Just have more of a Saturday morning cartoon feel to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It almost feels 100% more Mobile Suit. When was the last time you saw a character? Beyond Hero's face, I think. So I think all we saw was Hero's face twice and Sex's mouth.
I don't understand, except for the fact that they were saying Gundam. I don't know the lyrics, but the tempo.
But they were clearly on screen lessons.
Yeah. Yes, but I do not know how to read Arabic. I apologize.
Oh, you didn't study before you started watching?
Yeah, I apologize to my ancestors, but I do not know how to speak Arabic.
All right, well, that was the Arabic opening for Gundam. I don't know aired on where or when or whatever. Only thing I really know about it that it was produced in HD.
Nice.
It was in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
The entire
Probably
time.
done in the 2000s.
All right, well.
Would have been an interesting watch, yeah.
Well, as I said before, we do have a board, which also comes with a board change log. You know, let's look at a little game of this. I only made 3 changes. Can you guess 2 of them?
Well, Colonel Ladion, you have the question mark there.
That's 1.
What else?
1 more to win the game.
Patre has 2 color bars.
He always has. Or at least he has since the magnetic core was introduced.
I guess connecting Patre with his professor?
Nope.
Well,
I thought it was implied enough since they all got the Operation Meteor thing around them.
Well, I guess Trace is no longer... Oh, no, he's still Romerfeller Foundation and Oz. So that's not a change. I can't I can't really guess the two others.
I mean,
Sorry.
it should be really simple for you to guess. Just go off of what happened last episode. What character relationships changed last episode?
I mean, Trace apparently got fired from being commander of Oz. What's his name?
I would argue that would be a change that I probably should have made, but I didn't. So
Yeah.
it's not represented
Lady
on
on and what's his name? Are now in opposite sides. What's his name? Where is the?
Yeah, but identify the change on the board based on relationship
Mhm.
changes that you're trying to describe.
Tubarov, Billman. So now she's still Oz, so that's not a thing. Really, I don't think. Yeah, no, there's too much spaghetti lines here to me for figure out who's what's going on here.
All right, you're giving up then?
Yeah.
Well, then it's very stupid lessons. Too many spaghetti lines? Look at this. Look, where am I cool? You see my cursor?
Mm-hmm.
Go right there. Your mouse isn't there, lessons. Your eyes work with your mouse. This one spaghetti line that goes up outside the board, up around the board, and down again. It's two spaghetti line? It doesn't. There's no other line that touches this line. It's the most obvious line on the rest of the board.
I did say that Colonel Un and what's his name?
Yes, and I said identify the change on the board to the relationship you're describing, and you're like, I can't fucking see anything. It's too many spaghetti lines. This one line that's outside. Out here I was by itself.
Looking here. I was looking over here, not outside here.
How's that my fault, lessons? If you're not going to look at stuff, you're the one who went and got new glasses. You went and got new glasses, and now your argument is I can't see it. All right, well, obviously, since you gave up, the only other thing is also that I marked the green line from the Gundam pilots to Quattro to white.
I mean, ostensibly, at the end of the episode, Quattro was giving water to Hero to keep him alive.
You mean the Hero, the guy who basically he knocked out, he is now pouring dirty groundwater into his mouth. You're saying that's a good thing?
Well, it's keeping him alive. Like he's trying to.
Is it? What aspect of pouring dirty groundwater into a unconscious person's mouth? What part of Hero's position made him seem dehydrated?
I don't think he's trying to poison him.
I'm not saying he's poisoning him. You're just saying it's keeping him alive. What aspect of that? What is keeping Hero unconscious right now? Is dehydration? Is that your argument? Is that he's dehydrated, so Quattra's keeping him alive? Or is it a concussion caused by Quattra? And now he's pouring dirty groundwater into somebody with a concussion's mouth. It's that element that when somebody gets a head injury, right? They suddenly have like these bandages that are wrapped around their hair. It's like, what's going on here? No element of pouring water into this guy's mouth is doing anything for anything. Unless they indicated, like earlier in the scene before he like started swinging the beam saber. Mm-hmm. By the way, I've been peeing a lot. You know, there's like nothing to indicate this means anything. I've got real pain in the kidneys. And my urine is a bad smell.
Yeah.
And, you know, Troa floating out in space right now. So, yeah, I don't think it's a green line at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm assuming since you just went over the entire board and did not identify much about it, that you don't have any notes about the board.
No.
Commentary, I should say, about the board. All right, well, then to notes.
Let me get this started. Talking about Quattro, episode 24, the Gundam they call Zero. The episode where Quattro goes a little loopy. Where did Quattro get a Zero unit? According to the scientists, this is the original Gundam that they designed together, and they implied that Quattro finished it. Because, and looking at the board to make sure I get the name right, he doesn't have a name. One of the scientists, the one that helped build Sandrock.
Yeah, most of the scientists haven't had a name set yet, so I don't add those yet.
Left the plans when he was working on the Sandrock, and he just replicated it. Because we were asking, where the hell did he got that? And it's like, no, they literally tell you, as they always do in Gundam Wing. Oh, that must be the plans that we all worked together on. Like, yes.
All right, well, then I'm going to jump 4 notes in to respond to your note with my note about this very same thing. So Zero is the Gundam that all 5 scientists designed, like the Tallgeese, because these two seem like they came from the same designers. Also, I still find it preposterous that Quattro could have just told a computer to make this thing and left it to do what it needed to do while he was on his dad adventure, then came back to the best killing machine in the entire show. Any automated factory could be spitting these things out, it seems. How long have we been circling around the scientists as they made the V8 and the Mercurius? Quattro's storyline happened inside the scientists' storyline, meaning the Zero got built faster than them building those two and repairing the Gundams. With an automated factory and nobody watching it. Screw protecting the scientists, just go back to Quattro's home colony, and by the time you get there, each one of you could have a Zero of your own.
Yeah. You could arm the entire Magna Corps with Zeros.
Oz could capture that. Technically, that colony is on Oz control right now. They sided with Oz. Oz technically has the factory to build Zeros.
Not anymore, though. I think that's the one that got blown up, though.
No. No, I'm pretty sure that was implied to be inside the colony and not on the what do you call it, resource asteroid.
No, but remember that a colony and the resource the satellite got blown up.
You would think that would be the one to blow up, but I think the indication would be that he blew up a bunch of his family too, and they don't show us that. His family lives there. So I'm saying, his sisters are the ones that are spread out. Well, no,
they evacuated. Yeah, they evacuated. They said, we evacuated completely.
No, I'm talking about the first one, not the second one.
No, the first one. Also,
they didn't evacuate the first one. I have a whole note about that too.
No, they did say they evacuated the first one.
They didn't. I'm responding to your note already. You're trying to invoke future notes. I'm not going to read a note to respond to your argument. Okay. We'll get there in time. I'm just indicating this is a stupid-ass point. Why are you head bopping at me for? It's your note now.
I said the first note.
Yeah, you said the first note, and then I responded to your note with a... You said I'm choking on gum. You said a 2-sentence note, and I responded to your 2-sentence note with a paragraph note of my own. And now we're back to you again.
My second note then. Apparently the reason, according to Hero, that Trowa infiltrated Oz was to confront Trace. Let's see how that plays out.
I like that all of your notes are near the bottom of mine. So I gotta jump all the way down again. So Hero suggests that Trowa has been hiding in Oz all this time to defeat Trace, forgetting for a moment that not only Nicole and probably Lady Un both know that he's a Gundam pilot, but we legit saw a computer readout in episode 24 showing Trowa is a Gundam pilot and which of the scientists he was associated with. But again, forgetting that, Trace steps down from the organization in the next episode. Good plan, Trowa. Really panned out. You managed to capture everyone and accomplished nothing of value and almost died. Great plan.
I mean, aside from getting everybody under the same roof so they would be closer to the scientists, but that's just...
And quite nearly asphyxiating them all.
Yeah.
And not for nothing, he didn't get most of them there. Wu Fei got himself there, stupidly.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's just a stupid-ass plan, if that was his plan. And again, not for nothing, Trace leaves the company, essentially. So,
and he's back on Earth anyway, so you want to get to Trace. Why go to space, right?
At best,
space might be the place, but Trace was in space
for exactly the same amount of time. Oh, no, you go first. Anyway, the idea that he captures the scientists and the Gundam pilots to get to Trace. I'm sacrificing everything for... Oh, fuck, he quit? What? He can do that?
Yeah. Talk about space. I guess, and space is alive with a blast of beam rifle fire. Q.
Hopefully future me remembers.
Yes.
To add it to the thing.
We have this rifle. Oh, 2 barrels. Why do we have 2 barrels? We can split them. Okay. Sure. You can just have 2 rifles. I mean, equal power,
I mean, it's a thing that's in our overlay. Mm-hmm. I just unfortunately couldn't remember exactly how it was being held, so our artist drew it as two-handed.
Yeah.
All right, well, now that I'm back in line to read my notes in the order that I wrote them, we're way back to the beginning of the episode now, since you're apparently starting somewhere else. I gotta say, so much throws me off about episode 24's start. Where are we, for one thing? It looks like the planet Apocalypse from DC and a potato had a baby. What is this place? What is the significance? Where is it in relation to anything? I would have assumed, due to all the fires on its surface, that it was some sort of Forge asteroid or something. But they call it a satellite when they are installing the drive. Apparently this thing is going to take 8 days after that drive is installed to move into Oz's power zone. And what the hell is that? Get a hold of security and have them guard our defensive line, our defense line. What is your defense line if it isn't where all of those Leos are floating around? What was security doing before you called them? Were they guarding somewhere other than the defense line? It's only 3 minutes in, and I've got as many questions as entire episodes.
It could have been Cartoon Network's Power Zone, but I don't know if that's a thing.
Nope, because it would have been aired on toonami. See,
well, I think
now I'm reminded of the pre-conversation we had before we started watching Stardust Memory, where I know you just stare off blankly into space and don't hear a damn thing I say anymore. So
I heard
pretty sure that
everything
nothing
you said.
after Power Zone got registered by you.
No, I heard about everything. My take on it is, and this is speculation because this is the only satellite that we've seen that's a resource satellite, is that it was Cartwright's dad satellite that he tried to blast off with. It got hit, got his engines destroyed. So now they were pulling new engines so he could put it back into tracking, bringing it back. Remember that he got seized because the colony said, "Oh, this is ours now, and screw you." And it's like, well, no, I'm going to die denying you the vital reason to do this, and he died. And also remember that this colony that got destroyed also had all the guns on the outside as well. Like, oh, it has plenty of guns to defend
all
itself.
of them apparently do.
Yeah, which would have made the mines
heavily armed,
kind of useless. Because if the mines are there, you should have turned the guns in the mines, destroyed the mines, and that would have been it.
I mean, I disagree on that, but
I mean, if the guns were that useful, then they could have destroyed the mines. Because the mines were right there in front of the colonies, right? Preventing ships from coming in.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, but it's Oz that's using the mine. Oz is the one that's using the mines. Oz isn't going to fire on their own mines.
No. The Earth Alliance were the ones to set up the mines.
Sorry, yeah, you're right. No, it's the Earth Alliance, but still, it's Earth Alliance is the ones in control. Well, the people that were using the mines were the same people that were also in control of the base. One of the times that we've seen them. I don't know specifically it's this time, but the previous time we've seen the mines was the Earth Alliance there with the mines and the base. So the mines were protecting the entrance to the base, but then behind that was their firepower. So it didn't make any sense for them to shoot their own mines. Anyway, I don't care. Lessons, I don't care. You can be right. I don't care. I don't think you're right, but I also don't want to argue. So I'm just going to say, you're right, Lessons. And we're going to move on to the next thing.
You disagree with this, but I'm still going to say.
Do. I don't even know what you're saying.
The problem I have with this arc is that we know that Katra will be welcomed back into the fold after what he has done. Sure, the only people he killed were our soldiers up to this point, but still destroyed an entire colony and left thousands, if not millions, homeless and dispossessed.
Why would I disagree?
Because
you think I disagree on the element that Quattro is going to rejoin them?
No, you disagree on the fact that the colony, nobody died on the colony when it got blown up.
Oh, yeah, no, I do disagree on that, but I still would agree with the previous point about leaving them homeless. Presumably not everybody was there. I'm saying that they didn't do a full evacuation. I'm not saying that nobody left. I'm saying that there was most of the people there.
No, I think the impression was that the colony was empty. But
anyway, we'll get to that point when we get to that point, because obviously I don't know which one of my notes has that point in it, but so I'm not going to read my response note yet. But my point being that I would still agree that I would leave a bunch of people homeless. Everybody that wasn't there for whatever reason to begin with. Oh my God, my family was on that one. Now I'm homeless and free to pursue other pursuits.
In space, we have limited resources like air.
Said in space, and my thought went to Power Rangers. In space!
Yeah.
I'm free to pursue other pursuits in space.
Days, yeah.
All right, well, now back to the very beginning of the episode again, since you keep wanting to jump way ahead. Just a small note. The commander of the Leo forces defending the satellite screams, "It's transforming!" 5 seconds after it finished transforming. Or, more damning, 16 seconds after it started transforming. If you remember the Austin Powers steamroller scene, where the guard shouts to stop and then they slowly roll up to him and over him with a steamroller, that bit only takes 13 seconds. The comedy scene about exaggeratedly slow reaction time was faster than this non-comedy war drama scene.
The transformation of Spaceball 1 into Mega Maid took shorter time.
Yeah, but I don't think going for the wrong example, because Spaceball 1 going past the camera is the exaggeration time in Spaceballs. Yeah. So that one's obviously way longer than this. Mm-hmm. But just the element that everyone remembers that guy just standing there and getting run over by a steamroller as being a really long thing to happen. Like, oh my God, it's ridiculous how long he just stood there. 13 seconds. This guy waited 16 seconds after the thing started transforming. It's transforming! It's like, what the fuck? It was so ridiculous. I went back. It's like, wait a second. He shouted, "It's transforming." Well, like I said, 5 seconds after it finished transforming, which is also fucking stupid. Might as well just shout, "It's transformed" at that point. Why they call them buildings when they're already built?
Oh God, no, that's stuck in my head. And my last point of my last note of episode 24, I guess Tubarov took Trey's lessons to heart about
the what?
You know, when I'm gonna repeat it. I guess Tubarov took Trey's lessons to heart about the loyalty of men. You know, that the part where he's like, he gets into the, apparently the invincible Leo and gets shot up and it's like, oh yeah, you can't stop me, whatever. Like, and say, oh, shoot that man. And they all turn their guns like, oh, don't shoot me. What does he do later on when the guy's like, oh, you're going to kill these people. You're going to take the oxygen. Point their guns at it. It's like, okay, never mind. I don't want to die.
Yeah, but fair, he doesn't say shoot the guy. He just seem to be like, they don't even arrest him. They just go don't do anything.
Yeah. Stop him from, stopping him.
Yeah, your enemy can't push a button if you disable his hand.
Yeah. But it's like, oh, I'm going to make sure that the soldiers around me are loyal to me before I do anything else.
Which is more ironic, I think, given Tubarov's opinion of weapons of war and whatnot.
So, yeah.
Although, to be fair, you'd probably want to be more loyal to the guy who is never going to put you in harm's way. I'm never going to have to pilot one of those things because he specifically doesn't want me to.
Yeah. I mean, you can still be in harm's way. You're in part of it, a specific target that needs to be destroyed.
Yeah. But if he's throwing the dolls out to handle everything, then they're going to have to be coming to you for you to be in harm's way.
They have to get through the dolls in order to get to you, and that's a good proposition.
Yeah,
if you want to live.
Versus the other guy who's all about people dying in war, and his sub-commander who's all about whatever he believes in.
Contrived and convoluted kind of way.
Speaking of which, you jealous has to be Lady Un's most annoying counter-argument to date. Tubarov is saying that they don't need the Gundam pilots and that they are a risk to keep around. Quite rightly so, I should think. Lady Un is pointing out that they are better than any of the Oz pilots and asking why Tubarov dislikes them so much. Just the height of stupidity, I think. For one thing, if you kill them, then your Oz pilots will go back to being the best. You don't need the Gundam pilots being better than your pilots when your pilots are the only ones they will end up fighting. Also, why does Tubarov dislike them? What the hell kind of question is that? They are the enemy. They aren't a bunch of randos that wandered in from nowhere. They are an elite group of pilots dedicated to taking down Oz. One of them tried to kill him personally. What the fuck?
I mean, I think, again, and I bet it shows she would have pointed that he's jealous at the scientists that build the Gundams. But they don't say that. So
well, I mean, we already covered that too. He's had a conversation with them where he finds them to be useless.
Yeah.
I mean, not for nothing. They designed the V8 and the Mercurius, and he's like, okay, cool suits, bro. And then he made one suit out of them. It's like, okay.
Episode 25, Katra versus Hito. To quote Chuck from SF Debris, and they fight, and they fight, and they fight.
Is Chuck his name?
Yeah.
I haven't watched SF Debris in forever. I feel like for a while there, he was just re-releasing his old stuff again.
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of stuff he, I still watch it, but I rewatch his Star Wars: The Old Republic stuff because I want to run a short game of Star Wars in the future. It's like, I want to remind myself. I don't want to reload and replay Star Wars: The Old Republic. Therefore, I just watch his videos.
I think I didn't finish the Inquisitor one yet.
I finished all of them. In fact, the one I rewatched was the Jedi Knight, which was
whatever one that I haven't finished is one that he, like, I don't know, maybe like the beginning of last year had started, and then I just never saw any more of it again because it's just constantly re-releasing the old videos, which I know, not for no reason, because it was like a whole archive problem that he had, and then a bunch of copyright issues and whatnot, but it's like, I'm not coming back for the same thing I already watched 3 years ago.
Yeah. To your note, and then.
The Delusion of Quattro. Announcing his presence in order to demand the colony's evacuation before he destroys it. He sent a message earlier warning that he would, before he ever got there, I mean. So fair enough that. But what's the point in calling them from their front door? If they didn't evacuate at that point, there's no chance that they'd be able to get hundreds of thousands of people out of there by the time you fired. It just wouldn't make sense. I mean, legit, I timed it. From the moment he tells them to evacuate to the moment he fires, it's 1 minute and 30 seconds. Even if they listened, shuttles would still be getting loaded when his shot. I guess that's my counter to your, they evacuated. If they evacuated, why is he ordering them to evacuate?
No, but I think somebody on the offside said, oh yeah, we evacuated the colony.
Don't remember that, and I think I would have written that down for this note, considering I'm still in that part. Like, you've moved on to the next episode, which, to be fair, I have like 3 notes for the entirety of episode 25. Nothing really happens there, other than the speeches. But I'm here in the moment on this one, and I don't have any notes about them saying they already evacuated. I would argue that the next one over may be evacuated, because he's just like walking around, putting my fingers through buildings, and no one's running around on the streets. But in this place, all we see is the Oz soldiers, and they're there. There's no indication that they evacuated. I would assume maybe Quattro blowing this place up really incentivizes the next one over to evacuate.
Anyway, a short note that I just found funny. The blood animation is just awful. Because it's like their hands melt together. Like, what the hell's going on with these hands? Like,
I don't know what scene you're talking about.
The speech by Romefeller. All they're supposed to be. I know that animating is hard. I'm not an animator, but it just looked like. I'm like, what the hell's going on with these people?
I clearly didn't pay enough attention to it. I think it's probably the element that I was doing the bullet points on the speech. Yeah, because it's just like, I'm never going to see these people again. They're background people.
Yeah.
At most, it's seeing how much they wanted to like differentiate different like noble people. It's like, oh, he's wearing a monocle. He's wearing
purple,
18th century blue. So episode 25 is just exposition galore. Guy runs up to Tuberov about restoring communications, and he launches into a completely unrelated speech about what the Duke wants. Next scene, pan over to the scientists for a reminder of what they have and haven't done yet, as they are supposed to be suffocating to death. It's just an exposition.
Yeah.
It's exposition and fight with a couple of speeches thrown in, because I assume we made the episode for the speeches, but we needed filler for the rest.
Yeah. Now I go into my trays paragraph. And hold on to your butts, because I literally wrote this, and I don't even know if any of this makes any sense. So if we were to parcel out Trey's ideals, There will be simply that it's in the nature of mankind to fight, and if that is the case, they must be embrace that idea and fight with a certain decorum. Essentially, he sees themselves and the Gundam pilots as knights, fighting for their ideals, but without endangering lives of others. Well, civilians, I suppose. At least that's what I understand, if it makes any sense at all.
So sometimes it just feels like when you say this is my paragraph, and it's like, I wrote a movie. Took you longer to write this page than it took. You thought it was going to be on screen, didn't it? After you say I wrote a paragraph, and it's like, oh, we were done. Okay. Well, we had a back and forth before we started recording about how we were handling the speech, and I told you all I did was bullet points, but I did have that other thing, so I guess we're going to probably dip into that other thing after I read these bullet points. So, Trace's speech. Tradition is the history of sympathy built on people's feelings. Fighting in wars can be beautiful. Regret over the lost souls by appealing to how priceless man's life is. Mankind doesn't need victory, but a demeanor/attitude towards fighting. Fear of the era Romefeller is creating of soulless mobile dolls, which will be an embarrassment to the people of the future. Pacifism is a pitiful complaint born of ignorance and tradition. A section where Trace is just dick riding the Gundam pilots.
Mm-hmm.
War winners will eventually decline in history to become losers with a new leader, and Trace wants to be a loser. It's the bullet points of his speech. But like I told you before, I went to an AI and I gave it the speech, and I was like, "Can you like make this legible? Like, can you give us like a speech that somebody could actually read?" So there you go, lessons. Why don't you give us the better speech?
Say that an AI did this, it's sad, but sure. There's a certain honor and human beauty in traditional soldier-to-soldier combat, where people risk their lives for what they care about. However, life is precious and war is always a tragedy. She doesn't say that, but sure. What's important isn't just winning, but how you fight and the principles you show. The new kind of war, usually fully automated robots, is soulless and removes all honor and humanity from conflict. It is so cowardly and empty that future generations will be ashamed of us for creating it. I feel that that's the AI actually inserting itself on the speech word. Yeah. I used to make fun of pacifists for being weak and understanding on battle, but now I see their desire for peace might be the right response to this terrible new future of automatic killing. Except that he's supporting more fighting, so no.
I mean, I disagree with the AI is inserting stuff in there because I have the breakdown of the AI reading it and then compartmentalize. You're saying that he doesn't say that about war, for example. It's taking my regret over the lost souls by appealing to you to recognize how priceless man's life is the AI reading that as war is a tragedy. Because he's saying the death of a person in wartime is a tragedy. So you're saying he didn't say that. He is saying that.
But he wants more war because...
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he wants him wanting more war and acknowledging that the death of people in wartime is a tragedy is not two opposing viewpoints.
It is if you're the one killing people. Like, oh, I killed you.
It is literally not. I'm saying you're saying that a person can't hold two thoughts in their mind at the same time, and clearly he can. He's saying
but these are contradictory.
They're not contradictory.
Oh yes, they are.
You can you can perform regrettable actions and still find them to be necessary, which is what he's doing. It's regrettable that people die in a war. That is a tragedy. But war is a necessary thing that we have to do to achieve the change we want to see.
Yeah, but the thing in war, you do the thing first, and then you regret it. Here's like, to do the thing, that will be regrettable.
You're like talking like he has a baby with object permanence issues. He can acknowledge things to come without them having to have happened yet. You can regret a thing that you know you're going to do, knowing that you have to do it. It's regrettable that these people are going to die, but people will die in war, and they'll need this war to achieve the change that we need to accomplish. It's not the AI. See, here's the problem here. I think I'm going to just like circle around back to the start of this argument. Just say you're saying that the AI is inserting its own viewpoint into this, and I'm saying that's not true. I'm reading it that way. So I think this is just a viewpoint thing. That it's not the AI inserting it, that it's just so vague what Trace is saying. Which is why we're complaining to begin with that Trace's speech is kind of like weird. But we can both interpret it in both different ways. I don't think it's the AI thing. I think it's just the way that Trace is talking is very weird.
Yeah, disjointed. But even then, okay.
I'm not looking to get into a big old dispute about our interpretations about how a person can view war in different ways. If you disagree with the way that I'm seeing it, fine. And I also recognize I'm talking over no reason. Go ahead.
This kind of reminds me of Seed Destiny, right? The whole idea of how you stop war, right? But at least in that situation, because again, we had Blue Cosmos. I don't know what the name of the elite of humanity was,
Logos.
right? The Logos, right? From a fellow Logos, and on the other side we have the Gundam pilots, I suppose, and in this case would be the Naturals.
It's ironic because
Double
O, yeah. OG Gundam is to Gundam Seed what this is to Gundam 00. So eventually, hopefully down the road, we will watch that together and you'll see the difference between that. We won't have to keep comparing it to Seed.
Yeah, but so far that's what I have comparison. And within Gundam, right, the larger Gundam universes, I suppose, or multiverse. But at least I can understand them like, yeah, I can understand that like we have to fight a war today, so we don't have to fight a war tomorrow, right? We have to end this war. We have to win this war. It was like, well, you know what? War is inevitable. So sorry that it is, but we're gonna have to fight it anyway. I'm like, but why are you fighting? What's the end goal?
You're giving
there's no end goal.
Giving a dismissive attitude towards it, where one isn't being implied by the statements he's making.
No,
You're giving him a laissez-faire attitude about it. No, I'm giving the way you just said it just now. You're saying, well, war is inevitable. I am sorry, but we're going to have to do it. That's a laissez-faire attitude towards the way he's saying it. To be fair, he kind of has a dull tone of voice. The voice actor is doing it. In English, anyway. I'm not actually sure because it's hard for me to read foreign tones of voices. Like, I'm just bad with Japanese. That's been made clear for 4 years now. But just to the text of what he's saying, it doesn't read that way to me. Like, you can be, I'm trying to think of a non-psychopath.
Because it does sound like a psychopath. It sounds like,
to be fair, he could be a psychopath, though. My point is that you can do something you know is necessary and still regret it before you do it.
I think the problem I have is that there doesn't seem to be any real end goal in this. It just is like, oh, I'm going to admit that this is the way, because you can make the argument that conflict is inherently part of humanity. Okay, whatever you think conflict is.
Every Gundam series makes that point.
Yeah, so that's the point that Gundam makes over and over again. Okay, but at the very least, the people involved in any one of these conflicts tend to at least profess, whether they believe it or not themselves, an end goal. I'm not fighting a war because that's what humanity does, because I guess I have these urges to fight. It's more like I want to fight it because I want to destroy this enemy, or I want to protect my freedom, or I want to see a change in the world or something, right? Or like Ramafel says, we're fighting this war, we're fighting this because we want to go back to being in power, as we should, because we are the natural, socially, economic elite of humanity. What always happened? You don't have to agree with the goal, but you kind of have a goal. It's like, no, I disagree with taking humanity out of the equation because humanity must regret the fact that human lives is taken. And also, I'm adding Lady Un's speech as well. Like, she says, like, oh, people get a rise out of people dying. I'm like, okay, so yes, people have feelings and they have empathy. Not everybody, but people do. We established that. But again, what's the end goal for any particular conflict other than, because even it kind of reminds me like the shadows, like, conflict makes people stronger, right? You have to use conflict. Again,
I think the goal element has nothing to do with this speech.
Which is one of the things that doesn't make sense.
The organization because they don't have the goals.
So what is
he's also leaving the organization because he doesn't want to use dolls because he thinks it's not something that's going to pan out well. Again, that applies to Lady Un's speech, but I have a whole other note about that which is also about how I'm not going to be talking about it this episode.
Yeah, it feels like the show tries to imply that there's more to him than this, and I think is trying to think about any other reason that for Trace to do anything that he does. It's just wasting your time.
I mean, he is the smartest guy on the short bus.
The pickup band, really. That's how short it is.
I mean, the thing is the show, and there might be an element that I was trying to like put all my thoughts together, where I was trying to consolidate my thoughts at the final hour, essentially.
Yeah.
That they use a lot of words to mean very little.
Yeah.
So
it's a shonen speech.
So
yeah.
8 minutes of listening to Trace, and it boils down to like 3 sentences, and it's like I could have said this in a minute.
Yeah. I mean, it's also Wing is very much anime of its era, the 90s, and very much of that shonen. We're gonna fighting, and we're gonna give a speech.
Reminder we just watched. Yeah, you were gonna say Stardust Memory, which is the 90s, by the way. It was going to be my point, counter to your. It's of the 90s.
Yeah, but in that, literally, the guy says, "Like, you're giving a speech in the middle of battle? What the fuck's wrong with you?" And he doesn't give much of a speech. He just just basically says, fight me, bitch. That's what he basically saying. You're gonna fight me or what, right? Either step up or step off, right? That's the speech really that Gato gives, and it's like, you lecturing me, motherfucker? Like that's the answer here. It's like, let me tell you about the fact that humanity has a bunch of idiots who can't stop fighting. That's the way it is. That's the way it was. That's the way it will be. The end. I feel like, but I have a note about that too.
Do you? I thought you were out of notes.
No, I'm not out of notes. Not quite. But I think, this is your response to mine, so I guess I'll give my final note. Or is it simply, at least is what I understand to make sense of it all. That's my last line of my last note. And my next note starts with, or is it simply an excuse to stretch the narrative and have more battles between the Gundam pilots, between Oz forces, etc.? Maybe it is a commentary on the viewer himself who watches these shows for those battles. I got to say that Seed Destiny did it a bit better, and we want to go into that, but not by much since it didn't have the sheer amount of NARM Wing has. In other words, Wing is unapologetic. In fact, in many ways, Wing reminds me against Seed Destiny Freedom. Like, we enjoyed that movie because it was just bonkers. People just like, we're going to embrace the craziness of this particular universe. We're going to have, these are super people. We're going to make even super people with mental powers and stuff like that. And we're just going to go all out. And we enjoyed it because it's like, it didn't make any apologies. It didn't go like, this is who we are. Take it or leave it, right? Where Wing's still kind of trying to be serious, right? And it's like, I'm going to say this with a straight face. Actually, see, Destiny was trying to be serious and say it with a straight face. And I'm like, well, you tried. You really, really tried. Let's see where Double O falls into all this, which is going to be very interesting to watch.
Well, I think my thing is that I've said before that I wasn't a big fan of Double O.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I've also stated that Wing only exists on nostalgia. I've said before I enjoy Wing because I enjoyed Wing, but I've also said this is a bad show.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough that you brought up Seed. So, Troa gets the Kira treatment. I guess literally, if you go with the metal plate explanation I've heard happens in the novel or manga or whatever. Troa tanks a colony-destroying shot, and his mobile suit cockpit gets blown open. The only thing saving him is a metal plate he has to push out of the way. Then he jumps in front of a second one, which damages his suit enough to make it explode, with him inside. Only for him to be floating in space without a scratch on his spacesuit, fine and alive, hell, even smiling.
And by the way, the suit was going to explode, but it doesn't explode like every other suit that explodes. Explodes after he gives a very long speech to Katra about what Katra is doing is wrong, and that he still trusts in him.
Technically, I wrote until it later explodes with him inside, but then I missaid it while as I was going and just tried to power on through. But yeah.
And he's rocketing away in a long smoke.
And for those of you who don't remember, I'm saying Kira treatment because Kira had a
Yeah.
nuke go off in his face, and apparently, as people say, a metal plate is written in somewhere else that saves him, and then he wakes up in space. So,
yeah, with his new girlfriend.
Well, you don't have any notes left, you said?
Yeah, that was my
I
final
got
note.
one left, which is my explanation about why I'm not talking about the Tuberov conversation. I was going to try and do something with the Tuberov/Un back and forth, but it really all boils down to that speech I quoted from Witch from Mercury back when I was discussing Dr. J's opinions on automation a while back. Their speech is exactly that discussion point we already had. So if you want a reminder of what our thoughts on that matter were, check out the note section from episode 19, by which I mean our reaction to episode 19, not Wing episode 19, whatever. As for the two forces in this particular episode, I stated during the reaction that I was always more on Tuberov's side, though not for any philosophical reason. I like engineers and automation in sci-fi. Also less overhead on building dolls than the long-term maintenance and training of living people.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue the point. We already talked about this all the way back in Macross Plus, so yeah.
Well, I think when I was writing everything down, I was going over, like, retirement, feeding them, keeping them homes, clothing, and training. God forbid any of them, like, gets hurt in a fight, and then they have to go, medical leave forever for the rest of their lives. So, a doll gets blown up. You can take parts of the destroyed doll and make a new doll. Plus everything we talked about before about it's better for the people that they don't have to go out in danger.
So you had a comment. There was a comment somewhere.
All right. So we have a comment from Canaris4 from the Patreon from the episode The Gundam They Called Zero. Toying with the thought of streamlining the characters that you were talking about for the first 20 minutes, merging Treize and Zex into one character would mean nixing the Wu Fei/Treize rivalry. I could see a producer doing that. Alternatively, Hero and the man who is both Wu Fei and Troa could both have a rivalry with Zex/Treize, and then they'd get in each other's way trying to defeat Treize/Zex, and Duo would just be there, exasperated by the crazy situation. Or a third way is Wu Troa wants to kill Treize, Treize wants to kill Hero, and Hero is either happy to oblige with the fight or is annoyed with the unwanted attention. Though that would leave Duo with less to complain about. Anyways, I just find that situation interesting since it is rare for a villain's life to be saved because another hero says, I'm the only one allowed to defeat him. Usually it is the secondary villain who saves the life of the hero from being killed by the primary villain for that reason.
Yep. There's literally a trope called I'm the only one who can defeat them. Good thoughts.
I don't know, when I was editing it, I was like, oh man, we got some good ideas. If you didn't label it, like, based on Gundam Wing, just made a whole new thing with these all character interactions already existing, I think we came up with our own Gundam show.
Yeah. Or it's a Gundam show we haven't seen yet. I mean, there's a lot of Gundam out there.
Yeah. I mean, obviously I can't say no, probably not, if I haven't myself seen every Gundam, so.
We are officially past the midpoint.
And technically, we've already been past the midpoint.
47, 48 episodes?
49
no,
episodes.
49 episodes,
the last episode we recorded is 25. So there's less than 50, so we're already past the halfway point.
Yeah. To be sure, they have scrapped the entirety of this arc. This would have been a more streamlined show for sure.
Oh, no, you keep this arc.
Really?
Yeah. You get rid of the hero trying to get himself killed by every family member arc for sure. There's other arcs that are way less important than this one. I don't need the hero inside arc because Hero starts off as like a nothing character, nothing personality character. So I don't really need his introspection into himself arc.
Yeah.
He can get that from Melina later. This goes nowhere. Also, his friendship with Troa goes nowhere. So, legitimately unnecessary. We already get rid of 5 episodes. This is necessary for the Gundam rebuild. But as I've already said, not a fan of that bullshit either. We could get rid of this if we're willing to get rid of all the Gundam rebuild shit.
Yeah.
It's only necessary to show us a Gundam getting destroyed when the Gundam gets destroyed and never have it come back again. Yeah. I would prefer if, say, Duo, the Death Scythe gets destroyed, Duo never gets a Gundam again. Duo is a man on the ground now. He's infiltrating. He's giving them advice. He's telling them what's happening elsewhere. He's your guy in the chair.
That would have been also an interesting rewrite, because you start whittling down the... finally end up with 0 or 1 or whatever. Maybe that's the one who gets an upgrade, because otherwise they're gonna fail. But all the other ones all the other ones are failed prototypes, right? Only the combined might of all the 5 scientists can really create a true war-winning Gundam, right?
Yeah, and maybe the 0 gets passed around. I mean, they are essentially all Gundam pilots. Mm-hmm. As they start losing Gundams, you got people that aren't Gundams anymore, and sometimes maybe you'll be in positions where maybe not the most optimal Gundam pilot will be the only one available to pilot a Gundam.
Yeah.
Like, it's a Hero's Gundam, but Hero's locked away in that room, deprived of oxygen. Duo was the only guy around. Duo's got a pilot.
In fact, considering you could have started with maybe, or it could be the opposite. You start with the one Gundam, and all these guys are spies and stuff like that. And as things develop, they get their own Gundams. You don't get an upgrade; they just get a Gundam, because eventually, they destabilize the Earth alliance so much that it collapses. But now they have to fight Oz and Romerfeller, and with the mobile dolls, and a single Gundam won't do. So if you want everybody to have Gundams, you don't start them with Gundams. You have them sort of earning them, and we get to see the characters develop and say, okay, what's their strength, and what would the perfect Gundam for the character?
I prefer the other way around. I prefer them to start from strength and get weaker, and then overcome that adversity to win. Rather, because I think that's the way 86 does it really well. Like, you start with a massive cast of characters, and by the halfway point of the show, you got like 5 characters left. A bunch of them just died. It's the overcoming adversity thing that really powers you through. That we're not the elite group, we're the group of survivors that managed to pull through. So having them
the elite.
Yeah, having them start with like 5 Gundams and then get whittled down to like 2 or 3, and then for some reason what's coming to my mind is like Gurren Lagann, the very last bite, where they're literally throwing every suit that they have one out of each other one. The element that just like everything we've got left, that tag teaming through. Hero jumps into one suit, Duo jumps into another suit, and all of a sudden, oh no, I've been too injured. The Gundam can still work. Wu Fei, get the fuck in here. Just getting through with whatever we have left. I like those underdog tales. I do not like it when they become overpowered by the end, and it doesn't matter what the bad guys have.
Yeah.
I have to be compelled to want to see the fight, and I have to be compelled to want to see the heroes win. And if the heroes were never going to lose, then I am not compelled.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I think the bad guys do get upgrades here as well. With mobile, those are supposed to be more powerful in their weaponry.
Legitimately, last episode ended with the mobile dolls firing on the new Gundams. And just
I guess the older Gundams. I guess the older Gundams.
Except that was the Virgos.
Yeah.
And the Virgos are no longer
they got
legitimately, the status quo has been completely leveled. We've now met our new dolls, and now we've met our new Gundams. And the new dolls, which are the most up-to-date thing right now, cannot hurt the new Gundams. So the status quo is right back to where it was. You could have just started the show right here, and then we'd be like, who are these guys? And then you have to learn who they were. I mean, that would be your D&D adventure.
Yeah.
Them all coming out of the chambers, from oxygen deprivation and everything, would literally be you all wake up in a tavern. It's like, could have started the show here, halfway through. 24 episode anime.
Pretty much. Anyway, let's get started, because it's getting late.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, If you want to watch more shows like this,
Unfiltered.
Uncensored.
And uncut.
as well as some early access stuff,
You can check it out over on the Patreon.
It's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
There's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
And yes, we have to talk over this. And, I want to see Relina back because Relina...
She is still not interesting. She'd be a change of pace, though.
Yeah, it is,
No, I'd rather see Knowing. More Knowing stuff, please. She's always interesting. Relina is...
Relina herself is not interesting.
I haven't had to talk now over you because whatever you just fucking said was not there.
Oh, okay.
He said because Relina, and for like, I don't know, 10, 15 seconds, whatever the length of whatever you said was, nothing there. So I literally have to interrupt you for no copyright. I'd interrupt you for copyright reasons. First time I think I've ever had to say that.
Like I was saying, Relina herself is not interesting, but everything around Relina is far more interesting than she is. Like she's a catalyst.
There's nothing around her right now either.
Well, that's the thing. Whenever she's on screen, there was something interesting around her. Peace Kingdom and her.
Last time
her
she was on
and...
screen was when she was trying to track down where Zex was for the purposes of whatever the fuck she was up to. In which case, you know what she was doing? That was interrupting the hero Zex fight for her being on screen, figuring out where they were. So she was in fact reducing the entertainment of the show. Also, by the way, does it smell really strongly when you pee? My kidneys are hurting. I am very thirsty, Quattro. Remember that for 5 minutes from now. By the way, I'm a big fan of drinking water off of the ground. Remember that. I was really hoping they were going to pan to that scene. Really pay me off. But there's also people that don't watch our intro bit that have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about peeing. Hey guys, you ever realize we're all indoors right now? And not in the cockpit? What are we doing?
We are the Trace faction. We can't be defeated. Yeah, then...
Just the element that are also all just wearing their hats. Again, you could have just started the show at episode 25. Remember the whole bit where Oz tries to take out the Earth Alliance? The Earth Federation, whatever?
Earth Alliance, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing that again. Just, with a different faction. And again, Tuberov made one mobile suit out of two mobile suits. One guy, 5 guys.
Stop messing with space, dude.
I thought he was going for a ram.
He never got there.
I was about to say, hey, you remember where Trey's fought the mobile? I was like, oh no, this is just that. Is that? Do you think this is going to be a flashback episode just entirely?
Yeah, apparently we're going to have the same speech again.
I don't think sympathies and people's true feelings is tradition.
Yeah.
Isn't that what tradition means? Also, tradition also doesn't mean history.
Tradition is repetition, basically. That's what a tradition is. It can be historical if it's done long enough, I guess. We recorded the tradition, it becomes part of history, but by itself it's not, you know.
So I was just thinking also the quote about insanity.
Doing the same thing over and over again.
And somehow expecting different results. So in some ways, tradition is insanity. Also, how much money are we burning? We paid for those suits.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, did I tell you I shot Lady Un? Yeah, didn't though. Yeah, stop taking hostages. Or prisoners, rather. Ah, thank God I gave him that dirty groundwater. Wouldn't be alive today without it. Damn it, why didn't they train us with these guns? I mean, to be fair, the inside of the suit doesn't look like spaghetti. I think you're fine. Why didn't you just shoot him? Then do it! Tubarov just said, no point in keeping these people alive. Last episode, beginning of this episode. You have permission to shoot them. God damn it, we shouldn't have burnt our jackets. They wouldn't have known.
Is this? What the hell is this?
Lieutenant Trant. You don't remember Lieutenant Trant?
No, I don't remember Lieutenant Trant.
I'll be honest, I think Trant is somebody we've met before. I don't remember this, though, either. Nope, not on the board. Lady Un's revolt? You mean when she turned the oxygen back on and then got shot? I feel like we missed the whole thing. Exactly what I was saying before. You don't need the Gundams as pilots, because if you kill them, your pilots will be the better pilots. You don't need the Gundams around, because once the Gundams are gone, your mobile suits will be the best. Nothing really, I'm just bullshitting. So says my board too.
Yeah, weren't they fighting mobile dolls on the surface of the moon?
Yeah, that's when they escaped.
Yeah.
That was my whole... The ground has been leveled. I would have loved if they went on a whole guilt trip. I wonder who's to blame for that. Oh, if only we know who fought this. Yeah, but they're not, like, close.
Space is big.
Well, I mean, also, you don't want to, like, the gravity pull of
Harbor.
one place into
Yeah.
another place.
あれは戦う精神波をコックピットで増幅させ、パイロットに通常能力以上の結果を出させる装置を組み込んでおる。オズに対する敵対心であればよかったのだが、
Yeah, it's almost like it turns them into some sort of machine for fighting. And Tuberov walks into the room. Not so different, you and I.
バイエイトとメリクリウス、それにあのガンダムがあれば月面基地を一気に叩けたもの。お前たちの運動能力や戦術におけるイマジネーションは訓練によって完璧に仕上がっている。しかし兵士としての精神の確率は不完全と考えられた。それが露呈したのが今回の事件だ。兵士として完璧になれ。さもなければモビルドール全盛の時代に生き抜いてはいけん。
It's weird that the anti-automation guy is calling this already the golden age of mobile dolls.
Yeah.
I guess also implying that it's only going to go downhill from here. You understand you're hitting 4 keys at the same time.
Yeah.
メインの武器はビームサーベルと肩のバルカンになる。
Yeah, you fought it, and I piloted it. We both know.
敵に渡したままにはしてはいられない。ヒーロー、この戦争ってどちらが味方でどちらが敵なんだろう。僕にはわからなくなってくる。カトル。
Yeah, confused enough to blow up an entire colony.
自分の命を狙ってくるものと自分が倒そうとする目標が敵だ。じゃあ。 もしその自分が間違っていたらカトル、俺たちは間違っていない。
Except for the beginning of the show where I was mistaken. I think, like, kids that grew up on COD would be better than these guys. Thanks for letting me know. Also, if they cut the power, they cut it in the worst place possible because these guys still have power.
Okay, why didn't they secure this facility?
Now, where the hell is Nicole? Wasn't he up here somewhere? He got arrested, but then didn't choose a faction. He's like, fuck it, I'm out.
Again, you're surrendering. Again.
Sorry, I hate it when I have my volume so low. It's like their mouths aren't moving. Is this talking or is this mental? What's going on? Tuberov literally said, "There's no point in having you alive. Why aren't you just being shot?" He said that about the Gundam pilots too. He gave them permission to execute them.
始めろと言ってくれ。
よし、モビルドールのデータと戦わせろ。は。
We're going with the last Starfighter method.
さすがはガンダムのパイロットです。モビルドール以上か。まだ余裕ありますね。限界反応速度を出せ。
モビルドールに勝つことができるシステム。人間らしさが戦争には必要ないなんて。ヒーロー、戦っているのは人間同士なんだ。その人間が
They captured. They're released. They're captured again.
Well, no, I think
They're
this
released.
is the Trace faction, isn't it?
No.
Oh, the Trace faction headquarters just got taken. I think these guys are still Trace faction, aren't they?
No, these guys are the ones that are working for the other guy.
I thought the guys in the
So
blue
valuable.
coats were the Trace faction, and the other guys
No.
were the.
The
I
green-
assumed that
green
the blue
coats.
guys in the blue coats were Trace faction only because they're wearing an extra jacket layer, and it seemed like the other guys burnt their extra jacket layer.
なんだ。
ヒーロー、
おい、人質のことは分かってるのか。
ヒーロー。
Yeah, but you're completely unwilling to kill anybody, as per all of my arguments.
モビルドールの数で攻めろ。なんとかなる。
ヒーロー、違う、ヒーローじゃない。
Also, wouldn't you
I'm
be
just
better
saying.
off? Wouldn't you be better served not screaming at Hero, but trying to escape?
俺の命をもてあそぶもの。
Oh, okay. So what they're saying is that the mind
手が俺の敵だ。
interface with this.
They're explaining
Messes
why
with-
Quattro went crazy.
Yeah.
この宇宙に必要ないのはオズとわしたちか。あのシステムは人間の思考のバランスを狂わす。そのシステムを使ってモビルドールに勝とうとするわしたちもすでに狂っているのだろう。さて行くか。殺されにか。
So all of this was programmed into the schematics that Quattro brought up. Legitimately, we don't need to do any investigations or anything. Just go look at Quattro's schematics.
こんな失態の報告ができるか。特にあれは。
And again, also, where did Quattro get them? Were they just in the system already?
あなたたちもここで死にたくないでしょう。彼に攻撃をやめさせます。
何。
彼の力ならこの基地すべてを破壊できる。トロワも言ってた。モビルスーツのパイロット一人で暴走したってダメだって。排他的な戦いじゃこの戦争は決して終わらないんだ。
Who's Troa? Looks like you don't quote people who don't know the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, so
Sorry, the way it went off just reminded me of the seatbelt unbuckled. Buckle seatbelt, please.
同時に失うものがある。もしそのコックピットのせいで僕が暴走したのなら、僕はそんなつまらない機械のせいで大事なものを失ってしまった。これ以上大切なものを失いたくはない。
カトル、俺には今はっきりと敵が見える。お前も敵になるなら、俺はお前を殺す。
そのガンダムは一人ぼっちなんだよ。一人で戦っちゃいけないんだ。一人では目標を見失ってしまうんだ。
俺にははっきり見える。俺の敵が。
このモビルスーツには自爆システムが残っている。君が戦いをやめないのなら。
Cool, those are all built with self-detonation devices too. Because you never know when your common Oz soldier will want to kill themselves.
宇宙にとってもっと必要ないものがある。
ガンダムは宇宙には
I
必
feel
要
like at this point we can just build a list of things that space doesn't need.
yeah.
Number one, ironically, more space.
宇宙に僕たちは必要ないんだ。
Sorry, were you not going to activate the self-destruct device?
Yeah.
Figure that's why you brought it up. We know that's like a 14-meter drop.
Yeah.
Straight to his head
Oh.
again, by the way.
Yeah.
Except this time not on a rocky beach, but steel? What are we thinking?
Oh, that's Relina.
Nah, that's something you need to talk to your therapist about. I looked up at the machine Quattro was in and I saw Relina. What the fuck does that mean, doctor? And then
So they're still prisoners.
one thing, he's gone Super Saiyan. Two,
Yeah.
why isn't anyone shooting them?
Yeah.
Did
Oh,
show
now they
go
have superpowers.
supernatural at some point and I didn't remember?
Yeah.
He took the gold from Hero and is holding it in his hands over his heart now. At this point, I would not be surprised if like he grew magic wings and they flew there. I'll leave this here. This will be fine.
Yeah.
No, legitimately. I liked right before it blew up, it teleported to a different dimension. It just vanished.
Well, I guess he destroyed the base?
No, that's that segment of the base over there. He, I assume, destroyed Zero,
Yeah.
a machine that we know that we can mass produce.
But they won't.
Nope, didn't destroy it either. 01 didn't get destroyed. Why would Zero?
Which is, by the way, still around because Sally Poe found 01.
Mm-hmm. That was going to be my original explanation of what happened. That Sally Poe must have sent Quattro 01 somehow. But no.
Oh.
Mass-produced it on a computer. No explanation how Quattro got the schematics to begin with.
Oh, no, they explained that one scientist left them behind.
Cool. Good planning, other scientists.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, Oz was getting control of that station. They could have just found the place. Hey guys, you see this massive 3D printer they got in here?
Mm-hmm. Room size. Factory size 3D printer.
With schematics for Gundams on it. I call
Yeah.
Sandrock. I call Death Scythe. Oh man, I got a rock.
Oh, boy.
Old school joke.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, I mean, incredibly stupid. This is a bad show. It's a bad show that we both love. Although I find that I am loving it less as time goes on.
I've outgrown the usefulness of this show.
Well, a lot of things are better in nostalgia, and this show lived on nostalgia, I feel like. And
Yeah.
doing it real disservice watching it. Well, there you go, here's your wish.
Yeah, like everything else keeps repeating itself in this show.
By the way, it's been a long time. You might need a reminder who Relina is.
Yeah.
A lot of bullshit, I'm sure. Because if memory serves, Relina is also just the worst of the speeches.
Probably incomprehensible as well.
Well, no, I mean, I just, one, don't agree with her pacifism stance. Two, she just says the same things everybody else does, but she says them the worst. I don't know. I would think that I would be in the realm of possibly being fearful of seeming like anti-woman or something, if not for the fact that I like Dorothy a lot. Dorothy, I'm waiting to show up. I don't remember when she shows up. So,
Yeah.
and of course, Dorothy tries to influence Relina, so there's that whole plot line in the future. She got the monarch eyebrows, if memory serves.
Mm-hmm. This is something. It's something I watched. I
I
can
mean,
say
I said before that maybe we don't cut this, but now I'm thinking maybe we do cut this. I mean, in our reimagined shorter version of Gundam Wing. I'm not mean let's cut Gundam Wing. This show sucks. I don't mean that. I just mean the
No, it
element.
still has interesting elements in it. In the hands of a better
Sure,
writer.
interesting does not make a show.
They're interesting
watchable.
now, and like I said, in the hands of a better writer, they would have been much better done.
I don't think so. I don't even think you need a better writer. I just think a child could have done better. I feel like a writer listens to their child. And then he glowed orange, and then explosion. Like, hey, slow down, buddy. I'm not getting this all down. Remember, this has to be turned in by tonight.
Yeah. Hand me the crayon thing. Hand me the blue crayon.
Yeah, show me what color scheme it is for. Would you call it Zero? That was your name, Dad.
Okay.
You big Zero. At least that's what Mommy says.
Oh, we're not the neighbor.
I'm just saying. I don't think it takes a lot of skill to do better than this. I don't understand how this was released in the same realm of everything else released around it.
And now we know why Zero was not a huge hit in Japan. Mind you, there's a lot of stuff that comes out of Japan that it was a huge hit in Japan. Okay. So, But I guess in comparison, like if you were, this is in mid-1990s, you watched UC Gundam, you watched, Stardust Memory, you watch all that stuff, and then boom, oh, new Gundam, new century. Okay, what? What's going on here? What the hell?
Let's see.
Yeah.
Gundam Wing, 1996. I've never seen Gundam X. I'm assuming you haven't?
No. Heard about it, but haven't seen it.
Yeah, and G Gundam was 94 to 95, so Gundam Wing preceded by G Gundam. I really liked G Gundam. However, I cannot say with 100% certainty that it is not the same thing. Nostalgia powering it through. I do want to watch G Gundam on the channel at some point.
But
Eighth
let's
MS
be
Team.
honest.
8th MS Team was also 1996, though. So you have Gundam Wing. You directly can compare it to 8th MS Wing. 8th MS Wing. 8th MS
Team. And it fails by comparison.
And then Turn A Gundam, 3 years after that, but I've not seen Turn A. Turn A is my hold off because I want to watch all of Gundam and then finish with Turn A. So it's comparative things would be G Gundam and 8th MS Team. And I remember
G Gundam is silly as hell.
G Gundam's over the top, but it's fun over the top, and it's not like
it's set up from the very beginning. Right?
Yeah, G Gundam's not how do we defeat conflict and war, and what's the base nature of humankind. It's what if wrestling, but Gundam.
Yeah, and literally turned the entire planet into a wrestling ring.
Mm-hmm. The nations moved to space and embraced the most. The word escaped me. Jingoist aspects of themselves.
Master Asia. Master of all Asia, I suppose.
You do know that if we do G Gundam, you and I'm being drawn as Master Asia.
Yeah.
I mean, who's your pick from that show? You're not going to be allowed to be Domo Kashu. No main characters.
Oh, come on.
You're not Domo Kashu. You know what? Actually, hold on. We can do it while we're live here. I'll do the thing that I keep telling you I always do. I'll ask the AI. Without giving any spoilers, give me a character from G Gundam with the list of people that we've had you drawn as the basis. Of course, that is an excellent and specific list. Thank you. I love when the AI compliments me for no goddamn reason. Glad they programmed that in.
Yeah.
Based on these preferences, the character from Mobile Fighter G Gundam who best embodies the traits of the character you admire. I did not say the word admire. That is the AI putting that in. Gentle Chapman. Neo England is your choice. A sense of honor and chivalry, a rigid personal code of ethics that governs their actions often on and off the battlefield, vis-a-vis Saber and Wu Fei. The respected leader and tactician, a calm, analytical, and strategic mind that commands respect, Yang Wen Li and Bright Noah. Dignity and reserve, a composed demeanor that prioritizes duty and principles over raw emotion, with legitimately no example characters. That's just something he is. Gentle Chapman is a secondary but memorable character who perfectly encapsulates this archetype within the often over-the-top world of G Gundam. He is the honorable and chivalrous warrior, composed and strategic leader, and dignified demeanor. So yeah, that is, I guess, who you'd be drawn as if we follow those rules. You know what? Just to keep in line, let me throw mine in there. Maybe I wouldn't be drawn as Master Asia if I followed my own rules. Let's see. Who do you want to make a guess who this is going to say?
Well, you say Master Asia. That's what you want. But
that's what I'm hoping for. But who do you think? Because I can only think of one person based on what I normally do.
I actually never watched G Gundam. I know it for,
Oh, okay. You don't even have any guess.
I have cultural osmosis.
Before I hit enter,
windmill Gundams and the ring around the planet and Master Asia, and that's what I know.
Before I hit enter, I'm going to guess the brother whose name I cannot remember. So,
yeah. The older brother.
Oh, damn it! I accidentally hit the slide when I hit enter. It's not going to affect anything, I'm sure. Based on your preferences, Master Asia, undefeated in the East. I got what I wanted. See, never fails me. Character you describe as diverse, charismatic and commanding presence, vis-a-vis Reinhardt, Ryder, Dessler, King Bradley. The ultimate rival / mentor, vis-a-vis Viral, Zex, Marquise, and Fulkin. Overwhelming power and competence. Aoi Todo, Hamura Akemi, King Bradley, a complex and driven ideology, Roller Cressette, Giranzabi, Prince Heinel, theatricality and flair, Ryder, Aoi Todo, and Jinshi. So yeah, got what I wanted. That tells me it's accurate. You are Gentle Chapman.
Okay. Oh, then, now that we decided that, I think, any more thoughts?
Nothing coming to me.
Like the shotgun, though.
Yeah, I would say shotgun's the first thing I noticed. Domo walks around with a sword. You get a fucking shotgun. And quite possibly a SWAT team. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Alright, well, I guess with all of that said, once again, I have been Theta. This has been Lessons. We've been Stoneface Reactions. And we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe and let us know what you thought about this video and what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?